What are we gonna do today? Today I'm gonna show you how to age paper and make your own aged paper. So let's get started. So I'm using newsprint, and you could use packing paper or shipping paper. I just like the feel of this and the way that this dies up. And it's a big piece, and I think you can get this at most craft stores. I think I'm gonna do a Christmas theme on this and make it into like a wrapping paper, but you could do a long skinny piece, a big roll, and do a runner. And there's just so many different ideas that you could do. So what I've decided to do is start with a couple large elements and then just fill in. You could make your piece as simple or as complex and ornate as you'd like. And I'm just gonna use a black ink. You want a permanent black ink. The reason I'm using black ink is because when you dye it, you want some sort of a contrast. You could use colored inks. Make sure they're definitely very set. And if it's too light, it's gonna be, by the time you dye it, it may get lost. But experiment with different colors and see what you like. So while I'm letting my ink dry on my large sheet of paper, I'm using one of my 11 by 17 papers, and I'm just gonna lightly sand it, and I'm going to age this also. And all I'm really doing is just sanding the sheen off of it. But I'm just trying to get some of the shiny coat off of it so that the ink in the dye will grab to the paper. So if you don't want to stamp your own paper and you have a printer, you're printing one off, just make sure it's color fast or it's heat set, and you can also age that. So now we can get to aging everything at the same time. So I have a spray bottle here, and I just mixed some Tanrit dye with hot water. And if you wanted to, you could make your own colors with ink in hot water, but just come up with the dye color that you love. Spray it on some paper, let it dry, see if you like the color, and then you can change your colors. Like I said, I'm just using some liquid Tanrit dye with warm water and a couple drops of ink to yellow it up a little bit. So all I'm gonna do is spray this. So when I'm doing lots of paper, I have a big, huge metal pan that I fill with dye, and I just run my sheet through it, and it's a lot quicker. Now, if you wanted a really fun look, if you have a smaller piece, you can put it in your oven on low, and you get the really fun different lines on the back. While I've got this all wet, I am gonna spray this guy down. So over any paper that's been printed, I would use some parchment paper if you're going to iron it. And you might want to protect your iron from the dye. This happens to be my craft iron. So while your paper is drying, it will curl. Even if it curls up quite a bit, if you would like, then you can iron it down flat again. Now, if you're going to put your iron right on your paper, you're actually going to get a different look, but you want to be careful because it can stick, and you don't want to rip your paper. And it lightens up as it dries. The other thing you're going to notice when this dries is your paper will feel almost crunchy. So I hope you guys thought this was easy. It really isn't bad. This one took a little time because of course all the stamping you're doing on it, but I hope you think this is fun and you could use it for wrapping paper. You could see how you could do a long runner, or maybe just cut all of the elements out and use them for fun tags, ornaments, whatever you can think of. This was a smaller piece we had done before with smaller stamps, and you can see how fun that turned out. I think kids could have fun with this if you had smaller sheets and let them stamp whatever they wanted to. And I want to show you the before and after on these. This was the 11 by 17, which is just very beautiful the way it is. But look how cool that looks. I love that vintage look. You could even flatten it out a little bit more, but even hang it, frame it, use it for a placemat. But whatever you do, hope you try this. Have fun.